Here's my recap and review of the PlayStation Showcase. So the first PlayStation Showcase in over a year came and went. Let's go through every announcement and additional information from the PlayStation blog, and I'll give you my overall thoughts. Jade Raymond's Haven Studio, one of the most recent PlayStation acquisitions, finally lifted the veil of Fairgames, a new PvP IP taking on the heist genre where you join an underground movement to rob the ultra rich and rebalance the scales as sort of a modern Robin Hood. Fairgames launches on PS5 and PC, but no release date was given. After it leaked last year, Arrowhead finally confirmed their next game is Helldivers 2, coming to PS5 and PC later this year. The sequel is going bigger, abandoning the isometric look of the first for a third-person shooter that has customizable weapons and loadouts, plus you can also call for special attacks during the middle of a fight against the alien horde. There was a gameplay trailer for Immortals of Aveum from Dead Space and Call of Duty veteran Brett Robbins' Ascendant Studios. It showed the magical powers you are able to cast as you fight enemies from a group called The Hand and other magical beasts. Immortals of Aveum was revealed during last year's Game Awards and is launching this July 20 for PS5. Ghostrunner is getting a sequel that will have you exploring the full world, not only the Dogma Tower as in the original, with new enemies rising to take control of the tower. 505 Games promises enhanced gameplay mechanics, more levels, and epic bosses when the game launches for PS5 later this year. Chinese developer S-Game is making Phantom Blade Zero, a spiritual successor to an indie game they made over 10 years ago. You play as Soul, an elite assassin serving a powerful organization called The Order, but you're incriminated for the murder of its leader and gravely injured, later revived by a healer. However, the cure will only last for 66 days, and you need to traverse the open world while looking for the mastermind behind it all before the timer runs out. It's coming to PS5, but no release date was provided. From That Game Company developers Giant Squid Games comes Sword of the Sea, a game that mixes up some of their previous titles like Journey and Abzu, bringing back Austin Wintory for the music as well. The game takes place in an abandoned realm where terrain flows like waves, and you traverse it with the Howard Sword as you explore submerged ruins. It will be out for PS5 at some point in the future. The Talos Principle 2 is launching for PS5 later this year, greatly expanding on the original puzzle game, with environments to explore, secrets to uncover, and a deep story with decision making that leads to multiple endings. It also adds new gameplay mechanics like manipulation, gravity, and transferring your mind. Nomada Studio, the same guys that made indie game Gree, are back with Neva, a game that tells the moving tale of a young woman and her lifelong bond with a magical wolf as they go on an adventure through a rapidly dying world. It's out on PS5 in 2024. Cat Quest is getting a new entry in Pirates of the Purribean, out for PS4 and PS5 next year. It offers a fully explorable world on land or sea, including naval combat, and you can tackle quests in any order you want, with the story adapting to your actions. You can also embark on an adventure either solo or with a friend in local co-op. Square Enix is making a new 4 vs 4 party shooter for PS5 and PS4 that kind of mixes Fortnite and Splatoon. It's called Foamstars. You shoot foam that builds up on the ground and alters the terrain. You can even use it to build fortresses to hide, traverse the battlefield, or defend from enemies. No release date was given for this game either. The Plucky Squire took the gaming world by storm last year, and it was back in this showcase to mesmerize us with its amazing art style and world shifting mechanic. You control Jod as he realizes he's the main character in a storybook and frustrate Homecroft's plan with the help of his friends. The game launches later this year for PS5. Another game launching on PS5 this year is Teardown, a heist game where you tear down walls and obstacles in the environment to create shortcuts and complete objectives like stealing safes and committing insurance fraud in a 40-mission long campaign. Their voxel engine allows them to feature ray tracing and physics-based destruction, plus the game will have DualSense haptics. My favorite announcement came when rumors became true and Konami is indeed remaking MGS3 into Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. It's a faithful remake that sticks to the original story and game design, even the original voices, allowing a new generation of players and loyal fans alike to experience the origin story of Big Boss and how his legend was forged after Operation Snake Eater. Konami also revealed a few screenshots of the game and it looked insane. No release date was given, but rumors said it will be out for PS5 in 2024. The big mystery for a while was who is developing it, but Konami has said they are developing internally alongside Virtuos. Simultaneously, Konami will launch the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 this autumn, including MGS 1, 2 and 3 as a celebration of the series' 35th anniversary. Screenshots from the collection show it's the same HD collection ports from PS3 just re-released for PS5. It's interesting to note that this is Volume 1, so a Volume 2 sounds likely, hopefully including Peace Walker and a much needed modern port of Metal Gear Solid 4, although the website also appears to hint that the collection Volume 1 may have other games. Dreamlit Games is making an open world game in Towers of Aghasba where you can build vast settlements and grow sprawling ecosystems on a fantasy island as you try to keep a balance between your tribe's survival, rebuilding civilization, and maintaining the island ecosystem. Towers of Aghasba launches for PS5 next year. Square Enix also gave us one more look into Final Fantasy XVI with its launch trailer, just under a month before it releases for PS5. The trailer expands more of the story and the mother crystals around Valisthea, which people used to feel magics they rely upon in their everyday lives. I think the trailer went a bit too much into spoiler territory and it didn't announce anything about that rumored demo that will be out before the game arrives on PS5 this June 22nd. Remedy has been telling us over and over that Alan Wake 2 will be out in 2023, and in this showcase they confirm in fact the game arrives this October 17 on PS5. The sequel to 2010's thriller is built from the ground up to be a next-gen experience, and the trailer highlighted its scary story, environments and action, all powered by their North-like engine. After rumors of several internal delays, Ubisoft finally revealed the Assassin's Creed Mirage release date as the game launches for PS4 and PS5 this October 12. They showed a mix of story and gameplay, bringing some very much needed classic Assassin's Creed stealth gameplay as the team goes back to the series' roots for its 15th anniversary. Moving on, the Glory Society is bringing in the game Revenant Hill to PS4 and PS5 soon, but with no official release date. It's a narrative-driven adventure where you control Twix the cat as he tries to become a witch's familiar. Co-op action RPG Granblue Fantasy is arriving on PS4 and PS5 this winter 2023, and Cygames appeared at the showcase to give us a preview. Up to 4 players can engage in quests and battles together in which characters with different skills and weapons can synergize. Granblue Fantasy Relink can also be played in single player with CPU-controlled party members. Capcom was also here reminding us of Street Fighter VI launching in just a couple of weeks, and for that they presented a story trailer that showed how your created character can interact with Street Fighter pros around Metro City. Street Fighter VI is out for PS4 and PS5 this June 2nd. Haddock, a brand new Sweden studio, is making Ultros for PS4 and PS5 launching in 2024. It's a psychedelic sci-fi side-scroller where you take control of OG as he wakes up after crashing his ship on a giant cosmic sarcophagus that carries an evil entity known as Ultros. It features a loop gameplay mechanic where you will uncover secrets in every run as you gain new skills. Tower of Fantasy is an immersive cyberpunk open-world RPG launching on PS4 and PS5 this summer. It offers real-time combat with over 30 weapons that define your combat style and can transform your character's look. You can also play it either solo or in multiplayer, and you can even join a guild to take on challenging missions. Capcom's second appearance in this showcase came with the first Dragon's Dogma 2 trailer, a game they confirmed existed in a Capcom showcase last year. It will have a truly immersive fantasy open world that you can explore with your character, created of several races including the new Beastren. No release date either for Dragon's Dogma. Moving on, we arrived at the PSVR 2 section of the show with Five Nights at Freddy Hell Wanted 2, improving on the original title of the horror franchise while feeling familiar, with new games, locations, a story and animatronics, all powered by the new device's capabilities. It will launch in late 2023. Just fresh off launching last March, Resident Evil 4 PSVR 2 will offer the full campaign playable in VR as you control Leon and take on the hordes of enemies while trying to rescue the president's daughter. It's still in development, so no release date, but will be a free DLC when it launches. Arizona Sunshine 2 throws you back into a post-apocalyptic world with every bullet counts, and with new realistic combat with all new and fan-favorite weapons like shotguns, machetes and flamethrowers, plus a new melee combat system. It arrives on PSVR 2 later this year. Smilegate is giving another try at Crossfire with Sierra Squad, a new arcade action FPS where you control the leader of an elite fire team called Global Risk and take on 13 campaign missions while going into battle against the Blacklist organization. Besides that, you can team up with a friend to take on 50 squad missions or eliminate the horde as a fire team of up to 4 players. The game didn't have a release date either. We saw Synapse at the State of Play earlier this year, and Endries was here to tell us the game features David Hayter and Jennifer Hale as part of the cast for this dual-wielding action game where you play as a highly trained operative and you can use brawl firepower and telekinesis to take down your enemies. The game launches this July 4 on PSVR 2. The last VR announcement was that Sensation Beat Saber is already out for PSVR 2, and features a new Queen music pack with 11 tracks priced at $14 that also give you a new custom environment and unique light show for every song. Beat Saber on PSVR 2 has improved performance, and if you own it on the original PSVR, you can download it alongside any music packs you have for free. Leaving the PSVR 2 segment behind, Bungie revealed their new title Marathon, a reimagining of their 1994 sci-fi FPS as an extraction-based shooter made for PS5, Xbox Series and PC with crossplay and cross-progression. So Bungie can indeed decide where they want to launch their games despite being owned by Sony. It was not the only thing from Bungie as they revealed the final shape for Destiny 2, the last DLC closing the Light and Darkness saga with a recap of everything that happened so far, and fan favorite Cait Six returning. There was not much more than that, as Bungie promises they will reveal more in August. Far West Studios was just recently acquired by Sony, but they were ready to show a tease of what they have been working on since their partnership started in 2021. It's a PvP multiplayer FPS called Concord that promises to bring people together through social play in a unique universe of vibrant worlds and a rich cast of powerful characters when it launches for PS5 and PC in 2024. Sony also showed a new trailer for the Gran Turismo movie out in theaters this August. It looks cool, I think I'll probably watch it, but showing it here felt out of place, despite the synergy between PlayStation companies. Before closing the show, Jim Ryan appeared again to unveil Project Q, confirming all the rumors of the streaming handheld. The device features an 8-inch screen with a half a DualSense on each side, a look I'm not a fan of. It will allow players to stream games from PS5 via remote play over Wi-Fi. Besides that, another rumored project becomes true with the PS5 wireless earbuds that will feature a new wireless technology developed by SIE, alongside lossless audio and low latency, likely 3D audio as well. Sony didn't share any details regarding price or release date, but promises to do so in the future. I really like the design for the earbuds and the case. I recently got the Sony WF-1000 and love them. Sony's audio tech is pretty good, so this will be a highlight when it launches. The handheld I'm not a fan of, it looks really bad, and I would prefer a full portable instead of a streaming one. Even thinking about streaming only, it's a big fail, it doesn't allow you to stream PlayStation Plus games. Closing the show was a teaser and an extended gameplay for Spider-Man 2, showing us Big Bad Kraven the Hunter and how he will go with his army into the concrete jungle for new prey. The gameplay segment showed Peter with a black suit and the new skills that are placed as two separate trigger inputs with L1 and R1. Peter can take on multiple enemies at once, and his personality is affected by the symbiote as you would expect. Switching between characters will happen depending on story events, and going to Miles you could see his new traversal mechanics like a wingsuit to fly faster across the map, and a stealth section showed how you could take down multiple enemies as well. The segment ended with a thrilling chase as both Peter and Miles fought Kraven and his forces to save Dr. Connors, while also avoiding the lizard attacks. It was a shocking way to end the event, and not only because how amazing it looked, but because it also had no release date, and it was the only single player game from PlayStation Studios featured in the hour-long showcase. This showcase had full games, but was it a bad presentation? No. Was it a good showcase? No. If this was any other type of event, this would have been a solid show, but when you remember it's a showcase, you can't help but feel disappointed. Sony had split their presentation branding into State of Play and Showcase. While the first one can go either way, showcases since the PS5 reveal event have been all solid under an hour events, with a great mix of first-party and third-party games. That broke high expectations for this one after Sony didn't have a showcase for over a year, and they have kept their hand close to the chest, so I wouldn't blame anyone for getting hyped for this. I think this was probably the weakest showcase out of the 4 they have had since the PS5 reveal, with Sony betting on quantity. It felt like an extended State of Play, and even qualified as that, it didn't beat last June's State of Play, which ran for only 28 minutes. Its structure was also hard to follow as it juggled between PlayStation Studios, third-party, indie, and PSVR 2 games. A lot of the games didn't have a release date or release window, and you would think Spider-Man 2 would get a release date here, but it didn't. Then we get into the massive disappointment of not seeing The Last of Us factions, or studios you would think were allowed to show here like Bluepoint, Team Asobi, Firesprite, and I could go on. While Sony can reveal their full hand in only one event, those were the studios I hoped to see more of, and Haven or Bungie's new reveals would have been nice additions on top of that. Naughty Dog promised to give us a look at factions this year, and unless they are still not ready, it will make sense to have it at any other event this year and not in your showcase. Games that we already know of like Final Fantasy XVI and Street Fighter VI, while a contractual obligation with partners did not need to be here. And don't get me started with the Gran Turismo movie trailer. I didn't hate any of those, but they made me raise my eyebrow more than once. So how do we score this showcase? In our community poll, most of you guys thought it was good, with 37% giving it 4 stars, 33% giving it 3 stars, 14% saying it was amazing with 5 stars, 8% thought it was less than average, and 7% gave the showcase 1 star. I agree with 33% of you, and I'll give this showcase 3 stars. Your favorite games was Marvel Spider-Man 2 with 70% of the votes, followed by Metal Gear Solid Delta with 22%, Phantom Blade Zero with 7%, Helldivers 2 with 2%, and no love for Project Q or the new earbuds. My favorites here were Spider-Man 2, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Helldivers, and also Alan Wake 2. As for what game you were most disappointed that didn't appear, it was pretty close between Ghost of Tsushima 2 and Last of Us Factions with 37% and 35% respectively, then Wolverine with 13%, Death Stranding with 10%, and Bluepoint's next game with 5%. The one I was most disappointed with that was a no-show was The Last of Us Factions. Anyway, the showcase is now in the books, and hopefully we'll get more PlayStation Studios reveals in the upcoming Summer Game Fest. If that's not the case, let's hope for a great showing in the next one. But what did you think about the PlayStation Showcase? What were your favorite games and what were you disappointed with? Share with us in the comments below, let me know your feedback by liking or disliking this video, check out other videos you may enjoy while you're here, and consider subscribing for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and let's get hype!